coming to the end of my spell in Birmingham, but the two crews I'm following are still in action.
What are you doing then, love? Make a decision. Come on.
Incident Support Officer James is on standby with his partner, immediate care nurse Les. The crew I'm with, Gary and Greg, have arrived at the city centre ice rink, where there's a suspected broken ankle.
A 16-year-old female, she fell from standing on the ice.
Right.
Said immediately when she fell, she heard a crack. I've got another one in there as well, actually, another ankle.
Oh, really? Apparently they've got another one here as well.
What, 2 people?
Yeah.
Judging by the skating skills of this lot, there could be a few more injuries along the way.
Oh, wow.
Hiya.
You all right?
Right, which ankle is it? Which, is it the right one? To film?
Yeah.
You're sure? OK, cool. What's your name?
Suad.
Suad.
Right.
Can you...
I fell on top of my leg.
Is there any chance you could roll over so you're facing? Or onto your back? How's that? Well, it's not very comfortable, this scoop stretcher, is it?
While Greg examines the other injured customer, Gary's got the tricky job of getting Suad's ice skating boot off.
There we go. There we go. Is that better? Right, well, you're going to have to take this one off, all right.
These big, solid boots could conceal a serious fracture, so it's essential Gary proceeds with caution.
Right, all right? How's that? Is that all right? There we go. See? Can I take your sock off? Sorry, I need to take this one off as well.
Is that so that you can compare and see which ones?
Can you feel that OK? You can feel that.
What are you checking for there?
Pedal pulse.
Pedal pulse?
Yeah, pulse in the foot.
Right.
Just to make sure she's got the blood flow there.
Right. So at the moment, this young lady here is definitely going to get taken in because they're querying a fractured ankle because...
Have you ice skated before?
Oh, it's the first time. It's the first time ice skating. But there's swelling there, so there's potentially a fracture, so it definitely needs an X-ray, so it definitely needs to go to hospital. This gentleman over here, Greg, is talking to her, and have we made a decision?
Yeah, it's going to stay.
It's going to stay, no ambulance. All right. Oh, that's good. What is it, just a bit of a nasty fall?
Just a bit of a sprain, I think.
Right, OK.
So, would you like another one for the other leg so you got a matching set? Right then, the next procedure.
For ice debutante Suad, it's off to the hospital where an X-ray will reveal the damage.
Socks.
OK. Bit of a bump.
The evening is here, and as darkness falls, the rush hour traffic kicks in. Near the city centre, the other crew I'm following gets the details of an emergency, meaning Leslie's call home will have to wait.
Treble 7 over.
Well, as soon as I'm free... We're on our way to RTC, so as soon as I'm free, madam, I'll give you a call, all right?
Inevitably, it's those 3 dreaded letters, RTC, another road traffic collision.
I'll be about 6:30, 7 o'clock. All right. Where is it? Where's your RTC?
Sparkle. So we've got a bit of a mish one to get round, mate, but we'll give it a whirl.
It's been flagged as a car versus pedestrian, meaning the potential for serious injury is high.
No other details about the RTC other than...
No other details, just car versus pedestrian.
The boys are still nearly 5 miles from the incident. It's peak hours, the roads are jam-packed, pushing James's driving skills and patience to the limit.
Come on, if everybody just moves the forwards. Oh, it's just opening up, Locker. Yeah.
Not far away, in an equally busy part of town, the ambulance I'm in has also taken a call.
Right, so we're on our way to a 32-year-old female who has allegedly taken an overdose and a muscle relaxant, and if too many are taken, it can actually cause the patient to stop breathing. Is this a time-critical job?
Potentially, if the patient's unconscious and their breathing's compromised, if we don't get there and they're not breathing adequately enough. They could eventually end up in cardiac arrest. So.
Okay.
Clear left.
Obviously, we need to get there as soon as we can to work out whether or not she has taken the overdose, and then to work out what the quantity is. We're hoping when we get there that she's conscious, because obviously if she's not conscious, we've got no way of knowing. God's no one really looking.
Looks like we're in the same boat as Les and James. The roads are suffering a serious case of blue light paralysis.
When it changes to green, sometimes people just don't go forwards, they just sit there. It's just like this, just blocks us. It's on green, if you just go forwards, we can all keep moving.
It's a relief that we're making progress again, whilst James and Les are almost at their RTC.
Come on, mate. Come on, come on.
Just one more tricky high street to test James's cool.
This is a nightmare road. There's been so many RTC pedestrians around about this area.
Now, what's that doing for me?
Don't reverse.
Don't reverse. Just go forwards. That's the spirit.
Don't stop.
About 20 seconds away.
Okay, so we've got ambulance on scene.
At last, James and Les reach the RTC. It's a chaotic scene. With another crew already in attendance, the priority now is to establish just who's been hit and how badly they're hurt. Starting with the person they think is the pedestrian.
He was actually standing when we got here, but crouched over and retching, but nothing coming out.
Okay.
Apart from that,
What was the mechanism? Was he hit by a car?
the car, yeah, you can see the side of the dent of the car, so I don't
He's
know.
done that.
It's quite a high velocity impact.
Okay, I'll have a find out.
Next thing, James needs to establish whether the occupants of the car, including 3 kids, are okay.
Okay.
He's just complaining of a little bit of pain here, but there's no injuries.
Okay.
I'm not at all worried.
Brilliant. Okay. They're all fine, mate.
I had requested another ambulance because I hadn't checked for children.
James and Les have seen a lot of car versus pedestrian RTCs, and there's something about this one that doesn't make sense.
I don't think that can be his. That's old. Yeah. Surely. We need to know what's happened. There's no way he's done that, is there?
What's happened? The car was...
At last, someone who actually seems to have witnessed the moment of impact can hopefully clear things up.
And the car is parked there.
That car hit that car?
Yeah.
Right, so the car hasn't hit somebody walking on the street?
No, I don't know.
No?
No.
So,
They only hit this car?
the chap in there was in the other car?
No, he's on this car, on the driving
In
seat.
this
Yeah.
car?
He's on the
And
driving
who was
seat.
driving the other car?
The lady's in the car.
Right. Okay.
They're coming from this road, you know, the...
We've established now that we don't think it's a car versus pedestrian. We think it's 2 cars that have been T-boned, and the gentleman that's in the back of the ambulance is the driver of the vehicle, the white vehicle. And we are just confirming that there's no other injuries there. Les is just off at the other car, which is parked at the other side. And there's a second ambulance just to check over the children in the back of this vehicle, and that's where we're at the minute. No, not.
Well, after all that, the one thing that is certain is this man is going to hospital.
The guys have checked him out, all right, and everything appears to be nice and stable, but obviously he's complaining from back pain and whatever else. That's why they're just checking him out on the spinal ward, and they're going to pop him round to Heartlands Hospital just for a checkup.
And it's up to James to explain this to the man's relatives.
Get you on board, and then we'll...
What's going to happen now?
Basically, the police are here, okay, and the police deal with that. From our point of view, the ambulance service, we're just here for everybody to make sure everybody's not injured or to treat the injuries. All right, that's something you have to take up with the police, mate. All righty. Super.
With the only injured person whisked off to A&E, Les and James's job here is done. For us, however, it was a quieter end to the shift. Our suspected overdose patient refused to be taken to hospital, and eventually it turned out hadn't taken an overdose at all. It was an unexpected twist to what I thought was going to be a straightforward call. Not for the first time since riding with the West Midlands Ambulance Service, I've been caught out trying to predict the unpredictable.
I thought I knew what the job was about, and I didn't.
Still trying to work that one out.
Yeah. I think you've got to have at least another 20 years in you before you find out, because the whole point of it is you never know. You don't know what your day's going to be. You could be being superheroes, or you could be just being a taxi.
I don't want to be a superhero.
Do you not?
No.
Let's go home.
Troubles.
Night-night.
I definitely test that.
I knew being back in Birmingham was going to be fascinating. I met so many great people, of all backgrounds and all ages, big and small. And who could forget brave little Cheyenne, who bumped heads with a schoolmate and ended up with a big fat bandage on her head.
When I was running, I accidentally bumped into somebody. It really hurt. The ambulance came to the school.
I was very scared. I was in shock when the school rang and told me Sienna was at the hospital.
Cheyenne's mum, Shoshana, left work immediately and rushed to get to A&E.
When I arrived at the hospital, Sienna had a bandage dropped around her head, and shortly after they called me in the treatment room. She had a butterfly stitch.
I had medicine and it was colourful and Teddy didn't have any.
2 months on from the accident and Cheyenne's wound has all but healed.
My head is much better.
She's doing fine. She recovered from her massive cut over her head. She's just got a little scar. But I think Sienna thinks that Teddy's still not better yet.
Teddy's head is still hurting.